we all get asked a very poignant question from our own ID yourself. It's called ID the question.
The funny part about this segment is I don't have a question this week. I'm gonna kind of freestyle. I'm gonna think of something right now. I'm gonna ask everybody. Oh yeah, Dan, just give me a second. I think it would be interesting to know what most recent fear everybody just overcame. Some fear of yours, like something that you just don't have a problem. It doesn't have to be a fear. Maybe just I call them setbacks. Maybe just something that you were trying to get through. Maybe something that you wanted to stop doing. Something that you don't do anymore, but just basically something that you completely successfully stopped doing, or maybe even started doing. So stop doing from something else. For me, it's joining the car club and working on my car club, working on my body kit and my my underglow kit, because it keeps me out of bars. And I even spending money on my car, I still save more money compared to how much money I drank in and outside of bars and at home and so on and so forth. So me staying sober is a part of the big change in my life that I'm enjoying, and so on and so forth, because it gets me my car all tricked out and cool, and I'm enjoying it, and my son loves the lights and so on and so forth. So what's a big thing, because for me it was drinking, you know what I'm saying, but what's a big thing that you didn't like about what you were doing with your life, or a fear that you've overcome recently?
And y'all on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, you can feel free to disclose any of the fears that you've recently overcome, and we'll give those shouts out as well. But
yeah, basically, I'm just was 82 days sober. So
congratulations!
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I just want to completely shed my skin so nobody feels like they have to not share or they have to share. I'm just feeling like sharing, so I'm sharing. But in general,
I'll share.
Everybody on the internet, on Facebook, you guys feel free. If you don't want to share, it's okay. No big deal.
What you got, Cory? What you got?
Not necessarily like a fear, but I went through a pretty rocky. Well, I went through a pretty rocky breakup here about I guess it's almost been a year. It's really hard to think about it like that. I was in a solid relationship for a long time, and it kind of ended out of nowhere.
Oh wow.
And a lot of kind of
a lot of tension,
a lot of tension. Yeah. But there was moving pieces to the puzzle that were still in play when the breakup happened that couldn't just be stopped. You know what I mean? Like
I was talking about, you can't just disconnect life like that.
Sure. I'm just saying, like, things were happening, things still had to happen, even though this was happening. So that happened. And then the job I was at started cutting my hours, and I ended up getting a new one, and it was a good one. And this was all while I'm trying to move out and get on my own feet, like as a solo. And I have my child. I have my oldest son that lives with me. So I have to find a place for him where he can still get to school. I have to figure all that out. Work starts slowing down. I'm getting like 20 hours a week. It doesn't pay the bills.
I was going to say,
find another job.
Do you feel more free or too free, or like a variation of both?
Ooh.
Being out of a relationship that you were in for so long.
I mean, that's hard for me to answer right now. Like at times I feel pretty free. At times I feel like very free. Like there's good things to being on your own. There's
right.
But
you get way more done.
I mean, if I'm being honest, like I loved my relationship. I was happy.
Right.
So, no, I get way more done in a relationship. I feel like for some people, they get way more done outside of a relationship.
It was definitely not something that I wanted to have happen, but it did. For sure. So it did though. And then, so the job thing happened. I got a new job, and then that job, like 6 months into it, decided they were going to close the doors and gave us like a month notice. So I'm at this kind of crossroads where like, I know I have to find a new job, but how picky do I be? How much do I like really fight to take a step up and maybe get into something that's a little uncomfortable and a little intimidating and a little scary that you can do, but is definitely a progression. And I found that, and I'm being given the opportunity for it, and I think it's going to be really good, for personally. But it is definitely intimidating, and it is definitely not something that I've done before. It is a little out. It's within a wheelhouse, but still like new enough that it's scary.
I'm just going to say that, and there's a quote that I take with me that I was told, and I just don't forget it, but it basically says, falling in love is only on the other side of something you've never tried before.
Sure. I feel that.
Like you might just love it.
Yeah. No, I think it's peaking. It's turning around and it's getting better. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like
it's not whatever.
It's the job thing that's the overcoming the fear. I've been broken up with before. I have been single before. That's not a fear. That's something I don't want.
So
it's not something that I
you're
wanted
more
to have
speaking
happen.
towards the
I'm
parental
talking
side
about
of it.
the evolution of just being a man and figuring out that like I have to make a step I need to make a forward step. I can't take a step back. I can't stay, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like pay wise, I can't stay at the same rate of pay. I can't just go from one job making X amount of dollars to another job making the same amount of money. If I have an opportunity to bump up, I need to find that. If I have an opportunity where I can get into something where there's like a career ahead of me, not just the next job for the next 2 years. I'm saying like someplace where I could build a reputation and retire from. That's what I wanted. And that's what I think I found. And it's
beautiful.
You know, it's scary, but it's like, you know,
yeah,
I feel comfortable.
You gotta shark it out, bro. Shark it out.
Where I'm going, you know what I mean? Sink or swim. I'm going to swim every time.
Yes, sir. Shark it out, bro.
I would say putting my studio, getting a legit studio put together finally is a pretty big accomplishment that I'm pretty proud of as well. So, you know, I wish I had more time to be in there, but it's there when I want it, and that's all.
That's how accomplished and finished it is, and that is beautiful.
Yeah.
KJ said, "I'm still in fear, but I'm progressing slowly."
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Shouts out to you, KJ.
I'll go ahead and share, man. I think the easy answer would be, I think becoming a father was a fear of mine for a while.
Yeah.
But and that's not an easy one, but like for real, because I mean I'm a late bloomer. We can all kind of chime in on that together for me and you, but it's like I was scared too, than a mug, bro. And
yeah,
I don't know how about you and your
easy answer, but it's no less relevant.
Well, I was gonna say the tough answer I think right now is like so now it's like, man, I should be getting married. So
yeah.
And that's a big one. I don't think guys get enough credit. I guess I can only see it from my perspective anyway, but I mean, a guy really does have to do, like, that's his decision. A woman, this is the yes or no, like you get to pick on how you're gonna take that, but for a man it's like you really got to take the step. You really, or take the knee. Took the knee,
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, she'll tell you all day long that she's willing to marry you. You guys can shop for rings online together all day long. You can even buy it, but until you
ask the question,
yeah, dog.
And I just, you know, my fear is like I got a big fear of contracts and stuff like that. Like I don't want this on paper. Like me and you know what it is. You know, this don't need to be recorded.
Look,
nobody else
I
is.
told my girl, I was like, "Yo, I'm good with the what do you call it? The what's that law?
She's listening. This is all just hearsay.
Nah, she knows what I'm talking about. Common law. She knows I'm down with the common law.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. Nah, she knows I'm down with the common law. I'll be like, "Yo, babe, we married. I don't care what you say."
Here's my thing about marriage.
Not the words that you're hearing.
Here's my thing about marriage, and it might be even more like it. I'm not gonna pretend like my recent experiences haven't lent to this opinion about marriage more, but I wasn't really trying to get married before.
Yeah.
I think marriage is a scam these days. I don't think marriage is worth it. I think people are too fickle. People have too short of attention spans. And I don't think that putting yourself into a position like that with somebody that you love, all it does is create tension and create pressure and I mean, not that it can't be beautiful and wonderful and last forever. It can. But I think that the risk of it not is far outweighs the benefits of doing it these days. So
would you say that having a relationship that lasts until the end of your time cycle with the person you love is better to have that experience without wedding rings compared to the same relationship, same distance of relationship, all the way until the end of life, but with wedding rings?
Absolutely. I think it's totally to each their own. I think it's 100% to each their own. If you want to be a married person, totally you should be a married person. It's not that I'm like 100% opposed to marriage even for myself, but
you're right. It is a whole different time.
It is that these days most marriages end in divorce. You know what I mean? Most people don't even wait to be married to have kids. So like, where is the benefit other than legalities? What other than other than tax benefits and legal benefits and whatnot? And those are all things that like.
Well, not for nothing. A lot of women look at it. I mean,
as a commitment.
No, I was gonna say women. You know, I'm not a woman, but I can see women that look at other women who aren't married almost as a lesser. You know, they're not complete. And that's been a traditional sense.
But women are almost always the ones to leave the marriage first, though.
Yes,
But you ever notice in the
Oh,
South,
like-
they'll walk up to you. A woman will walk up to you in the South and be like in a surprised tone, she'll be like, "Oh, what?"
Like I know a female that like if they get
Like,
married,
she'll be like, "Oh, she'll be like, oh, you ain't got nobody? Oh,
Stacey,
you ain't with nobody? Oh, you ain't? Oh,
Stacey, that's-
well, you know."
I've never looked at the
no,
statistics.
but then some women will throw their husband in your face.
I've never looked at the statistics, but I feel like I hear about women leaving men more than I hear about men leaving women. Men might fuck up the marriage. Men might fuck up the marriage.
You gotta be.
That's the reason for it.
No, that makes
I
sense.
feel like that's why dudes say they're scared of their wives, because like if you're really
ask the question, so for them to leave the marriage, it'd be like they made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
So it would, and most men are stubborn. So
whether who leaves the marriage is first is whether that point of my point is true or not.
Right.
I still feel like most marriages end in divorce, and if it's going to end in divorce, what the fuck is the point?
I was gonna say, like
marriage is supposed to be forever, and if you can't stick through the hard shit, then you just shouldn't get married.
You brought up the
so
idea.
What would be a way to show somebody that you want to be with
that.
them forever without actually getting married? How
And
would
I
you
was
show
gonna say,
that?
like, you don't even
Be
like
with them forever.
they used to give dowries. You know, people
What's
do.
that?
Still do. When you get married, the wife's dad,
Gives
the man's dad is supposed to give up like a cow or something.
Oh, okay,
that's the term for that. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like
a
show goodwill, or
Yeah, they give a cow to the family to basically help the cow to feed the family.
And then there was also the tradition of the woman's dad is supposed to pay for the wedding.
Yeah,
I thought it was the man's dad.
No, it's the woman's dad that's supposed to pay for the wedding.
And it's a way old tradition.
But we're in 2022, and why is it gotta be like I mean, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't mean what it used to mean. Now it's just a sim. Now it's just
that's because nobody's throwing jackets on puddles no more. We get it, but it's like
I'll throw a jacket on a hoe. I'll put the jacket down.
I said a puddle, not the hoe.
Well, I thought you said hoe. I'll still throw a jacket on a hoe. I pull out chairs. I'll open doors.
Stacey, I didn't mean it as a generalization, but I've seen women. I've definitely seen
the garden utensils don't need to be misused.
Once they get engaged, they're talking to all their friends about, I'm married, or you know what I'm saying? They just think higher of themselves.
All right. Each party needs to understand each other's wants and agree on them individual before marriage is agreed.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with that. Like I said, each their own. Some people want to be married, and I think that's totally
because when we got into our relationship, we were individually perfectly fine as individuals. We personally chose to get into this relationship and create.
It doesn't always take two to mess up a
together,
marriage.
and
sometimes it only takes the one.
Well,
it does not always take two to mess up a marriage.
I love how it's only the girls for commenting on this one.
That's because it's only men in here.
Where are you at, KJ?
I know, right? We need some dudes to weigh in there.
Anyway, we're out of time.
Sometimes nobody. Hey, last point. Sometimes nobody messes up a marriage and it still ends.
Yes.
Sometimes people just grow
Take
apart.
that, ladies.
And then and I bring it back again to what the fuck was the point in the first place if you're just gonna grow apart?
Man,
I ain't getting married.